On tonight's Unsolved Gaming Mysteries, we look back at Aero the Acro-Bat. Hello, I'm Raven Fraser, back again for another episode of Unsolved Gaming Mysteries. Tonight, we talk about Aero the Acro-Bat and Zero the Acro-Bat, so this one's a 2 for the price of 1. So, buckle up, have some fun, and we'll take a look at Aero the Acro-Bat. In the 16-bit era, everyone had a mascot. Sega had Sonic the Hedgehog, Nintendo had Super Mario. But Unsolved wanted to make another household name character, Aero the Acro-Bat, and it had been released in 1993 on the Super Nintendo and on the Sega Genesis, and if you live in the UK, it is the Sega megadrive. So the game is basically a 2D platformer game, so we haven't seen them in a while. So yeah, you go around, you have to collect stars in the game. You have to collect stars so you can get to the next level. And the game was okay. It wasn't great. It wasn't groundbreaking. It worked. But the Super Nintendo version was definitely the better version over the Sega Genesis. It had better music, better sound, better graphics, and better controls. In April of 1994, Zero the Kamikaze Squirrel was released on the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis. This game was almost identical to Aero the Acro-Bat, but the only difference was you had a squirrel, and instead of throwing coins, you threw ninja stars, and you stuck to walls, and you glided a little better than Aero. So in this game, you have to go rescue your girlfriend, and and it's the same premise. You're rescuing your girlfriend in your other game, but this time, instead of a bat, it's a squirrel. And when you first get in the game, you get shot down. In the same month of the squirrel, Aero the Acro-Bat was released on the Sega Genesis. Where's the Super Nintendo one? Oh, it got pushed back to November. Was it because the Super Nintendo was hard? No, because they rushed this one on the Sega Genesis. The graphics, okay, nothing to write home to mommy about. The music, not good at all. So basically, you have a game that has bad music, but is the gameplay okay? Yeah, the graphics, the controls were solid. It was your Aero the Acro-Bat, basically. But this time, it's just to get to one end to the game to the other and to save your girlfriend. But they also added driving missions and, just jump platforming kind of stuff. So it's a different kind of game. But when the Super Nintendo version came out, it had better graphics and it had better sound overall. So basically, the Super Nintendo people, it was worth the wait. It had better everything over the Sega Genesis version, and that is very sad. This game was also dedicated to a Grand Prix driver, a Brazilian Grand Prix driver that died in a Grand Prix. So that game has been dedicated to him. And you know what? It's not a bad game. Some games I wouldn't be dedicated on Super Street Fighter the movie. So this one's actually decent to be dedicated by, so congrats to him. In 2003, Aero the Acro-Bat was ported to the Game Boy Advance. This was the last time Aero the Acro-Bat was seen on another system. The Game Boy Advance was his final resting place. Maybe he'll come back on the Virtual Console, maybe he won't, but to this is where he rests. And Aero the Acro-Bat and the Kamikaze Squirrel was also planned on the Game Boy Advance, but never ever came to fruition. So this is where the story ends for Aero the Acro-Bat. And there's the story of Aero the Acro-Bat and the Kamikaze Squirrel. And those games have not seen the light of day since the Game Boy Advance. So this is where our story ends. And I want to thank you for listening to another edition of Unsolved Gaming Mysteries. If you have any information on Aero the Acro-Bat, please write us at raven@tekkengames.com.